Everybody, this is Eric Brady with Seattle Sound Home Inspections. Just back for part two of this rebuild on the shower head. I was able to just screw off this cap by hand. Didn't actually need a wrench even. Um, First took this screw out of the end of this post, which allowed the knob to come off. And one of the most common questions I get in home inspections is, or comments is, ooh, gross, this thing looks terrible. And this one's actually not too bad. Of course, some soap scum can get in there. So while you're at this, just go ahead and take the opportunity to clean this. Just regular dish soap and a little bit of elbow grease could get really most of that off of there. You, of course, can even order a new one of these, and when they're new, they look pretty good. So mine's getting to the point where I probably should replace it. You can see there's some soap scum that's managed to get inside this little button, and that's pretty hard to get out of there. It's also corroding. So this is the ball valve I was talking about. It's got holes in it here. 2 holes, so actually 3. Well, depends on how you want to look at it. There's a hot and a cold side. And as you would turn that knob, you adjust, how these holes in this ball are related to the holes here in the fixture. And then that mixes and goes through this bottom hole and goes up to your shower head. So it can't really show it because it takes 2 hands, but there was a rubber seal in these top 2 holes backed by a spring. Go ahead and show them to you here. Here are the older 2. Here and here's the older 2 springs. So I just took them out. Best way to do it, I find, is to have a screwdriver and slip it through the hole and engage it with the back of the spring like this, and then just kind of lift gently and bring it out. You don't want to shove that spring in there further. So I've lined up the springs here. You can see the old ones are a little bit shorter than the new ones. That's okay. These have been compressed for Lord knows how long. Could be up to 25 years. So we'll go ahead and replace them with the new springs. And then these don't look exactly like these, but that's okay. Again, remember this rubber here is so old. Look, you can even see it's coming off of my finger. It's so old and hard that that's the shape they got formed into inside of the fixture. So the new ones are the same height, and they're rubberier and ready to go. So these taller ones, just set those aside. Maybe I'll use those in the future, maybe I won't, but they cost me about $1, so no big deal. So we just reverse the process here. So what I like to do is take it and stack it on top of, go ahead and do both of them, on top of the spring. And I take my little screwdriver, just a little one, doesn't take much here. And then I'm probably gonna have to stop and just kind of demonstrate here, but I put the screwdriver in the hole that it needs to go into, and then I just kind of work with my finger. I work the rubber back in there. Yeah, I'm gonna need to use both hands for this. So that's the idea, is you just get one going in this side, and then of course you go get the other one and you get it up in there. Once you get it worked in there, they should stay just fine. It's got these this flare on it, which is kind of what's keeping it from going in there right now. And then this little ridge, and then once that ridge is engaged, that sucker doesn't really want to pop out of there. So, and then of course, once you get it straight in there, even if it's not all the way in, once you put the ball in, that'll press it the rest of the way in. You just reverse this process. So once the seats are in, you reinstall the ball, okay, and then put the cap over it and screw it down until it's, decent tight. While you're at it, you can inspect this and make sure this rubber seal is not too hard. Now this one's pretty hard, but I'm gonna leave it for now. This is not what's leaking. When you get water that drips out the back of this, usually what it is it's this rubber seat right here that's leaking. And sometimes you can fix that by tightening this down, but usually it's just because the rubber seal's gotten so old and hard that it's no longer sealing anymore. So that can be replaced as well. I believe you can just buy this whole assembly. And if you want a new one, you can just buy a new faucet, but you reuse the bottom. So anyways, this is a tried and true method. Delta's been making these since, basically the beginning of time, and very little has changed. You know, older style, these balls, probably 1970s, these balls were metal with a chrome finish on them. This one's from somewhere around 1990, I would guess. And it's a plastic finish. Now mine looks very corroded because I have galvanized pipes. And believe it or not, the zinc that used to be on the inside of my pipes, it's right there. It looks like a fence. And then, so some of my zinc's gone, probably on the hot water side primarily. And then there's some rust buildup from, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That may be contributing to my leak a little bit, but once we get new seats in there, it'll be all good to go. So anyways, anybody can do this. You have just a little bit of coordination, just a slight amount of coordination, and you can get this done and save yourself some timing. And I've spent more time talking on this video than this is going to take me to complete. So anyways, hope that helps. If you have any home inspection needs, or know anybody who is looking at investing in real estate and like to chat, put them in touch with me. All right, talk to you later. Bye.